Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, race fans. Welcome back to Sunday Night Racing here at GRDC. Apologies there was no stream last weekend, but I weren't too well, unfortunately, so couldn't put it on. But we are back. It is round 5 of our Addison Racing Sunday Series 2, and we are tonight at Suzuka. Good evening, Liam. How are you, mate? Now, the chat thing in OBS has decided to shit a brick, so I'm flicking between 2 pages to check the chat. So apologies if I miss anything, but I hope you are well. So let's have a look at the standings. Firstly, our pros standings. So we've got David Lindblom, who is out in front, of course. 3 wins out of 4, but he's not racing tonight. He had a hiccup at Paul Ricard, and he's not racing tonight. So that is giving people like Richie Gasson, Steve Morgan, Werner Skoman, and the likes of Paul Sims should fare well. Missed the first couple of rounds, did Paul. No Jimmy Yengdao, he signed out of the championship completely. So we'll keep an eye on that battle. I think that'll be quite close, particularly between Richie Gaston and Steve Morgan. They've been very, very close so far all season, but an opportunity for lots of people to score extra points. There's going to be no Tom Carroll tonight either. He has signed out of the next 2 rounds. Let's take a look at the AM standings. Now, this is where it's going to get really interesting, because we have a new leader since last time we broadcasted. We got Jacco van Eck, our Dutch friend. That his McLaren has taken over the lead. So it's only 2 points in it between him and John Bunny Mitchell. I believe John is racing tonight. I know he didn't finish work till about an hour ago, so bless him. He's jumped on, fully committed. Good to see. Chrissy Wilson just behind a little bit in 3rd place. And then you've got the likes of Aero and Jacob and Paul Garnham. So it's going to be interesting to see how they fare. A tricky circuit, Suzuka. It's not the easiest place to overtake. There's only sort of a couple of overtaking places that you can be heavy on the brakes, and that's the sort of the hairpin, and coming down into the bus stop, the chicane before the last couple of corners before the start-finish straight. So it will be interesting to see what these guys do and how they fare. So we've still got about 5 minutes to go in free practice. So I shall bring you up to speed with what we've got going on here at GRDC over the coming. I'm sure you all know by now that almost mythical AMS2 1.6 update has dropped, and it is blinding, absolutely fantastic. Of course, there's a few little things they need to iron out, but graphically it is it's bloody stunning, to be fair. So it does make for a good stream, good driving all round. It is really, really good. They've had the overhaul on the physics, and they've got a new tyre model. I think it is absolutely superb. You can't now get a slide on and hang on to it all the way round a corner like you could in a lot of the cars before. So very exciting times. We've been waiting, hanging out for the 1.6 update to arrive. So we said that when the update arrived, we would call our Caterham Cup on a Monday night to a halt with the new physics and everything like that, so people get a chance to get used to it. We are going to be doing lots of testing and running races 3 nights a week, on a Monday night, a Wednesday night, and a Friday night, on AMS2. And of course, we've got our ACC race on a Sunday night. Tomorrow we've got the caterums, and what we're going to do is we're going to have one track for the week on AMS2, so people don't have, there's a lot of tracks on AMS2, so people don't have to learn a new track every night. So this week is Sebring week, and there are 3 layouts to Sebring. You've got the club circuit, the school circuit, and of course the main circuit. So tomorrow night we've got the caterums on the club circuit. Wednesday night, and so that'd be 2 20-minute races with a random grid. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night, we've got IMSA, so we're running the hypercars, the LMDHs, the LMP2s, Gen 2, and the GT3s. So lots of fun multi-classing, and that'll be on of course the full circuit of Sebring. Then Friday night, we did some testing today to see what we drive on Friday night, and we're going to run the sprint cars, whatever they're called, sprint cars, something like that. So much fun. Oh my god, they were loads of fun. It looked like a proper boy racers car, like a silhouette style model car. Lots of grip, easy to drive, sound phenomenal, and we'll be doing a 45-minute race in those Friday night, which will be lots of fun. Practice servers are up for all 3 races now, so if you want to get involved, have a practice and get yourself prepared. The plan is to run, as I said, a different track every week, and different variations on that depending on what type of cars we are racing. So back to tonight's action. Currently on board with our AM Championship leader at the moment, a Jackie van Eck. Let's jump on board, grab the sounds of McLaren as we head down to 130. Oh, what a tricky corner this is. Heading down to the heavy braking zone at the bus stop. Awkward camber on this last corner as he heads down. Start, finish straight to start another lap. These corners here is such a tricky part of the track. The S's are balancing act on the throttle or the brake, dancing from corner to corner, left to right. Jackie doing a very good job. So let's just get ready for quali as the session comes to an end in free practice. So guys, as the guys head out, as qualifying starts, good news, I've now got one of the chat boxes working. Fantastic. Good evening, Yaki. Good luck tonight, my friend. Our current championship leader. No pressure, mate. This is always the trickiest bit of the stream, doing the quali. There we go. Right. Who was the first one out? Who was it? Who's that in front of Richard? So it's Raoul, the first one out of the pits, and be the first one to start a flying lap. Don't forget to join the Discord if you are just viewing us for the first time. Get involved. We race ACC on a Sunday night with this championship you're watching. This is our Luke Addison Racing sponsored Sunday series, where we offer prizes of coaching with Luke Addison himself for the overall Pro Championship winner and the overall AM Championship winner. So lots to fight for, and it's a great way to improve. I've had coaching with Luke myself. He's attention to detail and able to spot where on corners I thought I had nailed it, and he showed me a little bit of a different approach on entry, just changing the braking slightly, and you certainly gain a lot of time. So this is a great championship for people to learn. We also have our, I'm not going to say it's unique, but our very robust and transparent stewarding process, where we all the contact incidents from tonight's race are picked up on the spreadsheet, and then they are reviewed by the stewards. 3 of us do it, and it's recorded, so you hear all of the conversations, and you see all of the video evidence, and you can see why and how a steward came to make the decision, which I think improve the standards and helps people understand if they've made a mistake, where they made that mistake, so they can improve for the next time they're out on track. We've had great feedback about it. It does take quite a bit of time, but it's that's what we're here for, to try and provide you guys with the very best place to race on and off the track. So as Raoul heads through the last chicane, he'll be the first person to post a time, which is going to be a 2:00.77. Richard Gasson coming across the line next with a 1:59.5. This is where I get all thrown out of sync as we try to keep up to date with everybody's time. So Chrissy Wilson has currently taken pole in AM with a 2:00.5. Currently on board with Andy Aldhouse. It's heading across start finish line now. Posts a time. No, it must be his outlap. Werner Skoman goes second with a 2 minutes point 2. Right, let's try to see who is... Buckley Mitchell just coming across the line. Jumps up to 3rd in AM. 7th overall with 2:01.2. Who else is on a hot lap? We can now start to see who is up on their laps. Which... So who have we got? Trev. Whereabouts is Trev? So Trev's heading... around Spoon. Let's jump on board with Trev at the moment. He comes down the back straight, heading to 130R. And his Aston Martin around 130R. Slight lift back on the power as soon as you're there. Not too much of that curve because there's a nasty bump that can throw you out of sorts as he comes around the chicane and heads down around the last bend for the start finish straight. He's currently half a second up on his previous lap of a 2:01. He's now at 2 minutes point 5 and goes 5th overall. Let's see if we... Richie Gasson. I missed him coming across the line. I'm rubbish at quali. I do apologise, chaps. He's taken pole with a 1:58.8. Paul Sims is currently fourth on a 59.7. Who's Bunny's on a hot lap coming through the last chicane round the last corner. Currently 3rd in AM, 9th overall, 2 minute point 01.2. 3 tenths up, jumps up to 8th, but still 3rd in AM of a 2 minute point 8. Right, 2:48. That is James Payton is half a second up on his previous lap. Crosses the line up to 8th with a 2 minutes point 8. Richie Gasson is coming. He's not up at the moment. We've got more behind. Just about 4 tenths up. Coming round the last chicane. Just lost a little bit through the last chicane. 2.5 tenths up. Currently 2nd. Stays 2nd with a 59.2. Chrissy Wilson crossing the line. 2 tenths up. Currently out AM pole sitter. Gains position on track. Moves up to 5th overall with a 2 minutes point 3. Paul Sims just crossed the line with a stays 4th with a 59.8. Who else we got? Ash is not up at the moment. Aero is just crossing lines, just up a little bit. Currently 13th overall with a 2:02.0. Renato is coming through the last chicane. It's 1.5 seconds up on his previous time. Currently 18th overall. Heading down to the start finish line. Is going to cross the line and jump up to 16th overall with 2:02.1. Let's see who Paul Sims is not up. Let's see who is up at the moment. Errol. Currently half a second, 6 tenths up on his previous lap of a 2:02.0. Heading down to the awkward hairpin. Around the right hand bend up towards Spoon. Tricky braking area, tricky part of the track. Braking and on the curve. Gets a good exit out of Spoon. Let's jump on board with our super smooth Finn in the Porsche as he comes around 130R. Nicely done. He's still 0.6 up as he heads to the last chicane, down to the last corner. He's definitely going to gain 4.5 up. And where is he going to jump up to? Jumps up to 14th overall, a 2:01.5. Right, who else is on a hot lap at the moment? Renato is on. He's just gaining a bit of time. He's about even on his current lap with a 2:02.1. 3.5 minutes left in quali as he crosses the line. It's not going to gain. James Payton is gaining time. He's 2.5 up. Currently 10th overall. As he heads down the start-finish straight, he's gaining time as he goes down the straight. Excellent exit. Jumps up to 5th overall. Great lap. 2:02. Who else is on a flyer? Mr. Morgan. We've got anyone further on than that. Number 72, we got a Yakko. He comes round 130R. He is 0.2 up at the moment. I'm not sure if it's a valid lap though. It's the timing tower keeps changing his mind. He's currently on a 2:0.7. Let's see if he jumps up to see if that was valid. Don't think it was. Paul Sims is currently up 0.3 up as he crosses the line. 2:0.4 goes to a 1:59.4. It's a great jump from Paul. Still 4th overall though. Who else have we got? Mr. Garnham, are you on a hot lap? You're not on a hot lap at the moment. Let's. Can't see the number. What is it? 138. Andy Aldhouse. He's a 10th up on his previous time of 2:0.8. He is going to improve. Goes up to a 2:0.6. We've got Raoul. Is 1.5 up on his previous best of a 2:02.5. Currently 10th, jumps up to 8th overall, 2nd in AM. Great jump from Raoul there, 2:0.6. James is not up. Jordan's not up at the moment, currently 13th. Who's on a flyer? 168. Let's have a look. Jacob is 1/2 second up. What a livery. What a livery. Look at that Spurs livery. Love it. As he heads down to the last chicane, 1/2 second up as he goes into it. Can he gain time, get a good exit? It's about 3.5 up. Where is this going to put Jacob? He jumps up to 5th in AM, 12th overall, a 2:01.007. Go on the Spurs. Chrissy Wilson is not up at the moment. 330. Kev Walker is 0.2 up on his current lap at the moment. Can he get a good exit and gain some positions? He's going to gain a little bit. It's a 10.5 up. As the people are now going to 2:02.2 for Kev. Who else is on a flyer? 301. Jacob is going to get a good jump on his previous lap. So he's jumped up to 7th overall for 2:05. Great last minute effort from Jacob. Well done, sir. 52 is Trev. He's 6 tenths up. Currently 8th with 2:06 points. No, it's not. That was his last one, which is invalid. He jumps up to a 1:59.9. Takes him up to 5th overall. 909. Jordan's not up. Number 6, Rob Homer. He's a little bit up on his previous time. Doesn't improve. Is there anybody else on a flyer? I think that's it. I shall be right back as we get ready for the race. So let's just run you through the grid. So on pole, we have got Werner Skoman with a 1:58.585. Right next to him, we've got Richie Gasson. Behind him, we've got Mr. Morgan, Mr. Sims, Mr. Waits, Mr. Payton. Top 6 all pros. Then we've got the first of our AM class, where Chrissy Wilson has again put it on pole in AM. On the grid next to him, we've got Jacob Borowick, who is a pro. Then you've got Raul Pasta, who is an AM. Then we've got Andy Aldhouse, who is a pro. Then you've got Yako, John Bunny Mitchell, Jacob Curtis. 3 AMs right there going to be battling out. There's going to be lots for us to keep our eye on. So as we wait for the session to tick over, if you haven't subscribed, do us a favour, hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything. Or give us a follow on Twitch. Don't forget to give us a like if you're watching on YouTube as well. Just help us out a little bit and get the good racing word of GRDC out to as many people as we possibly can. Just waiting for that session to tick over. As the guys line up on the grid, making any final preparations, making last minute adjustments to their pit stop strategy. So this is a 60-minute race with a mandatory pit stop for fuel. It is a 25-second refueling time. If they want to take tyres, it is going to cost them an extra 5 seconds in the pits. Now, we have seen on previous rounds this season how strong the strategies can be and how people use them to their advantage. Either taking that 5 seconds less in the pit stop, not changing your tyres, running the risk of having a bit more wear than the others come at the end of the race, but also nailing your pit stops, always critical. Races can literally be won or lost in the pit lane, making sure you braking at the right point, not too early, not too late, minimising that time in the pit lane, making sure you hit the ball and it's up on the jacks first time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds delay can cost you dearly come the end of the race. So as the guys pull away on their formation lap, we're on board with Rob Homer. Keep an eye out for Rob, because as normal he will try to be making his way through those AMs to get back into contention, battling with some of the pros. The battle for overall honours in Pro and Am is very, very close. No David Lindblom in Pro tonight means Mr. Skoman, Mr. Gasson and Mr. Morgan, Mr. Sims can score big and take advantage. Evening, Dave, mate. No, Mr. Lindblom tonight. This, I know Richie Gasson was feeling confident and in fact was a little bit disappointed that David Lindblom not racing tonight, because this is he feels this is a strong track for him. But our pole sitter Werner Skoman had a bit of a nightmare last week, I think it's safe to say, and wants to make it right tonight. Got a great lap in, put himself on pole. The power of that Mustang is going to come in handy. But that Nissan is not too shabby either, is it? Great livery that Rich has got on there. Yeah, it's all about timing when you do commentary, you see, mate. I knew you was going to say it. As the guides head round Spoon, tricky part of the track, a place where lots of overtakes are attempted but can often lead to mishap. Of course, we need to keep an eye on Chrissy Wilson, whose livery's not showing up tonight, which is strange because I'm sure it did last time. He is currently third overall in AM, and he's going to want to try and put as much distance as he can and keep Mr. Borowick behind him and head of the other AMs. And that was the case at Silverstone as well, but they had a bit of a coming together, and unfortunately Chrissy came off worse. It is tricky when you've got sort of the front end of the AMs and the sort of the lower's a bit of a harsh word on Jacob, but sort of the back end of the pros clashing together at very similar pace. But as the guys head round the chicane to end the warm-up lap side by side, as we wait for the lights to go green. Waiting. Green. We are racing here at Suzuka for round 5 of our Luke Addison Racing Sunday Series, as Werner and Richie Gasson are side by side as they head round the first looping corner. Almost came to blows, but that means Mr. Morgan, Stevie Morgan, has got through and is currently in second place, but Richie Gasson has made the move down the inside, going through the S's and retakes second position. a nice clean start from all of the guys. Oh, as I say that, it all goes a little bit wrong for the two Porsches, and they manage to collect the McLaren of Jordan, the younger of the two Cantys. That's really unfortunate. I'm sure the stewards will have a look at that to see what happens. But we got Werner is just stretching out a little bit. He's got a second lead over Rich Gasson at the moment. Steve Morgan in third, Paul Sims in fourth, Trev Waits in fifth. Jacob Borowick has a great start and put some distance between him and Chrissy Wilson. And that will be music to the ears of the likes of John Mitchell, who has got past Raul Pasta and is currently sitting second in overall as the guys head down to 130R for the first time under racing orders. It's hard to see when someone's going to make a move from the time down the open lap, is that it's not caught up just yet. But as the guys start to cross the line, we can start to zoom in on all the action, keeping an eye on the Delta. Right, let's keep an eye on these Deltas. We're on board with John Buddy Mitchell and his Porsche chasing down that Aston Martin of Chris Wilson. This is a battle for first and second in AM, 9th and 10th overall. Let's just make sure we are not missing any of the action, as we've got Andy Althouse's Ferrari having a sniff around the rear end of that AMG of James Payton. Jacob in that super sexy liveried Mustang is looking to put some pressure on our current AM Championship leader, Jackie Van Eck. As they head around the hairpin. Jump back to Kev Walker as he tries to have a sniff at Renato Ribeiro as they went into the hairpin, but to no avail just yet. Everyone seems to be just nicely spread out on at the moment. So Werner Schoeman stretching the legs on the Mustang at the moment. He's got a 2-second lead over Richie Gasson, who's got a 2.5 lead over Steve Morgan in third place. Under a second back is Paul Sims in fourth. As we jump back to Renato and Paul Garnham swapping places, let's just jump back 15 seconds to see what happened there. As Renato sent it down the inside at the chicane, managing to get the move done to take 15th overall. Now we've got Kev Walker trying to set up a move on the Porsche Paul Garnham. Let's jump onto bumper cam. As we come out of the S's into the tricky double right-hander of the... It is Lesmes, isn't it? The name had slipped away for a moment. It must be me age. Plenty of action first couple of laps. Yep, plenty of action as we jump back to see Jules Flint in her BMW. She's putting lots of pressure onto the rear end of Jacob Curtis's Mustang. Not able to set anything up just yet. As they come out of Spoon, head down the back straight towards 130R. We've got Jacob Kurt. That's lots of shuffling going on. Nicely done, nicely defended by Jacko under lots of pressure. Going into the bus stop then from Jacob Curtis. Depners, thanks Gaza. Lesners, I'm thinking of Lesbos of bloody of Monza. Thank you, mates. To the rescue as normal. Jules now putting lots of pressure on, but didn't get a good exit coming out of the corners there. And Jacob again is all over the rear bumper of Yaki's McLaren. This is going to allow Jules to reel the Mustang back in. But they're also reeling in a Rayoul in front of them. Is this going to turn into a four-way battle? Jules, of course, in Pro Class, in the BMW behind, is going to want to get past these AMs. We've got 5 AMs in front of her. Jules still not close enough to make a move yet. Is a tricky place going into Spoon to try and set up a move. This straight though is always a great opportunity to get a better exit coming out of Spoon, heading down the back straight to 130R. But again, you're coming up to a difficult corner to try and make a move on down the inside. You want to try and be close enough to try and get a move done. As we just jump back, because we've got 2 Porsches side by side. We've got Old Man Canty and Rob Homer side by side. As Ash goes for the move, he can't skip to the racing line. It's very close to the front end of Rob Homer's Porsche there. They came through it. That was close. Maybe a little bit too close for the... I would imagine if he was in the racing seat there, like Rob Homer was. I think Aero has had a bit of a coming together, because what's happened there? Because Rob was behind. Something's happened there, perhaps with Aero and Old Man Canty, because Rob Homer managed to get past both of them, as we see Jules and Jacob side by side. The Mustang just getting the advantage, but again Jules is looking right, looking left, trying to set a move up, going into the hairpin. I just gets a little bit of a touch on the rear end. That allows Jacob to take the place back, and she did very well there not to take advantage of just the little tap that was going on. It's going to be frustrating for Jules, I'm sure, but as we've seen season through season, race by race with Jules, she races fair, but she races hard. But Jacob does run wide a little bit there, and that allows Jules to get the move done without too much hassle. Now she needs to get a bit of a wriggle on to see if she can get back on terms, and that is Jaco van Eck in front of her. Oh, Rayoul has lost it. Let's just... 130R claims another victim. Rayoul just takes a little bit too much of the inside, gets a slide on, and then it snaps on him. That is hard luck for Rayoul. He was doing really, really well right up to them, but 130R claims another victim. So lots of the guys still nicely spread out at the moment. So let's just touch base with our leaders. Just keep an eye on this one at the moment. Andy Hallhouse is again trying to reel in James Payton. So let's have a look. Werner Skoman. It's been a lonely race, but I'm sure he's going to be quite happy with that at the moment. Bit of a nightmare last week. 3.2 seconds in front of Richie Gasson, who is in second place. Richie Gasson has stretched his lead over third place Steve Morgan to 2.5 seconds. And then 2.8 seconds back, you've got Paul Sims, our current AM leader. Chrissy Wilson, 9th overall, 3 seconds ahead of championship rival John Bunny Mitchell. Who is 1.5 seconds in front of Jackie Van Eck, current championship leader at the moment. So with 12 minutes gone, the field nicely spread out as we just jump back to the battle for 14th and 15th. Kev Walker trying to reel in the BMW Renato Ribeiro. Now they're nicely spread out. The guys are going to start thinking about their pit stops. If they've got a bit of space around them, start planning from when they're going to come in. It can be more strategic than forced. Now the cars are a little bit spread out. House really trying to put lots of pressure on to James Payton. As they head down to Degner 1, Degner 2, and then down to the hairpin. You've got to be really close, but one of the best places to get the move done and dusty, but you've got to be so close and alongside as you go through that right kink to the hairpin. Let's just check in with Jacko because he is getting mighty close to John Bunny Mitchell. Just runs deep going into Spoon and loses 3-4 tenths. He's not going to be close enough down the back straight as Kev Walker is sniffing an overtake right in the slipstream of Renato's BMW as they head down to 130R. Common sense says not to make a move there, but to set it up for the hairpin. But you have to absolutely nail 130R. And he wasn't close enough that time. But is he close enough now? He is in the slipstream of the BMW as they head down, but he's not. He needs to move over a bit to the left to make the most of the slipstream, but loses the suck, as they say, as Andy Aldhouse is still battling away, looking to set a move up on James Payton. These two are going to know each other well from Sim Seniors. They've raced each other a lot. A little bit of trust and a little bit of faith in each other. Not to do anything silly, but just to set it up. Kev Walker still in that slipstream of the BMW as they come out of the Degners, heading to the hairpin. stay on board with the Ferrari as they head round down towards Spoon once more. Renato gets a bit of a wiggle on. Not the exit of Spoon that he would have wanted. This is perhaps the opportunity that Kev was looking for. He is right in the slipstream. He looks to the inside. Is he going to chance it at 130? Oh no, he thinks better of it, but perhaps that hampered the chances of a good exit and trying to throw it down the inside at the hairpin. House still trying to chip away. That's James Payton. Just keeping an eye on the delta between Kev Walker still. Let's just jump to Jaco as he is right on the rear diffuser of John Bunny Mitchell. Who was that in the background? That was Steve Morgan from second place. Let's just jump back 50. Oh, just missed it. But he's lost it, and he's lost a lot of positions. A nightmare for Steve Morgan. Was third. And now he's down to 17th. We shall have to keep an eye on Steve as he tries to get back onto terms. And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 AMs in front of him. James has just pulled a little bit of breathing space away from Andy Aldhouse. Jacob, a great start to the race. Is now being reeled in again from James Payton, right in the slipstream, but not close enough. Oh, as we see Kev getting the move done. Renato didn't have a great final hairpin as Kev has the door wide open. Renato looks down the inside. Goes deep. But does that mean he's going to lose another place to Paul Garnham? It certainly does. A nightmare couple of corners for Renato. Let's jump back to this battle. It was a two-way battle. It's now a three-way battle. As James Payton has managed not just to keep Andy Aldhouse behind him, but he's also managed to reel in Jacob Borowick again. This is about to get spicy. Three different manufacturers, BMW, Mercedes and Ferrari, exiting Spoon. No one dare now get a bad exit. Let's just jump back to Jaco as he has managed to get a great exit coming out of Spoon and is right in the slipstream of Bunny's going to look down. Needs to be backs out last second. But now that gives Bunny the opportunity to have a good exit on the racing line as Yaki just loses some momentum. Perhaps would have been better just to tap into the racing line and then try to make the move going into the bus stop. Let's jump back to this battle for 7th and 8th as Andy Aldhouse is trying to set up a move on James, but this battling has meant that Jacob has managed to just stretch out again in front of James. So it's back to a two-way battle for 6th place. Yaki heading down to Degner 1, trying to regain the momentum lost coming out of 130R last time round. He has gained the momentum back. Needs to get a good exit out of here. Gets a little bit of a wiggle on. As they head down to Spoon once again. The McLaren does seem to be stronger than the Porsche. Can he take advantage this time? Bunny just gets a little bit of a slide on coming out of Spoon. Yaki not in the slipstream this time. Back in, tucks back in behind the Porsche. Around 130R. Is he going to be close enough to perhaps look down the inside? The bus stop not quite this time. He will keep plugging away. Great racing from him and Buddy Mitchell. As again we jump back to this battle between Andy Aldhouse and James Payton. Let's just check in with Aero trying to get back onto terms after. Oh, hold on. We are. Andy looking almost made the move. Don't want to miss any of the action. Back with Yaki once more. We've got 3 cars trying to set up a move as Steve Morgan tries to get back onto terms. I don't think Jordan will make this particularly difficult for him, but it just gets a slide on. And Steve is able to gain a position. So Renato Ribeiro is in the pits. This is the first of our pit stops we're going to see. So we have 36.5 minutes left on the clock. And this is where the pit stops are going to start happening. And this is where we have seen changes of positions before. It's Yaki still trying to chip away. Get close enough to set up a move on the Porsche. This is a battle for 9th overall, but this is a battle for 2nd in class. 2nd in, but he gets a bit of a wiggle on, and they are side by side, almost going down the back straight. But this time, Bunny Mitchell is on the inside. Yaki has the line. Yaki backs off just a little bit. Bunny runs wide. Is this going to be the opportunity that Yaki needed? Bunny covers off the inside, but he is going to be compromised going into the bus stop. And Yaki runs into the pits. The pits. Perhaps a good strategy. Perhaps that is the right thing to do. He was unable to get quite close enough to set up a move to see if he can jump him in the pit stop. So this is where the first of the interesting pit stops will come into play. We need to keep an eye on where John Bunny Mitchell goes into the pits to see where he comes out in relation to Yaki. So James is again managed to relim the BMW of Jacob. And still Andy Aldhouse is right there. But that, in the background, is our AM race leader, Chrissy Wilson, in his Aston Martin. He has got an 8.5 second lead over Bunny Mitchell. Not really surprising when you think that Bunny has been battling away with Yaki, so that they will have lost some momentum, so he will have lost a bit of time to Chrissy Wilson. And now he's got that bit of breathing room. Can he start to reel Chrissy Wilson in? James Payton coming out of 130R, trying to use all of the grunts that AMG has got. All Sims is now pitting. So let's just check in with our leaders. So we've got Werner Skoman, lonely race, but as I said earlier, I don't think he'll mind that. 5-second lead. And a great job he is doing too. Oi, oi, Mr. Movard. How are you, mate? Richie Gasson, second place. 5.5 seconds back from Werner Skoman. But let's just check in with this. Oh, again. Andy Aldhouse seemed to be close enough to make a move. Just jump back to Rob Homer, who is behind Ash Canty. Is he going to be able to set up the move and get it done? He's just dropped back a little bit. So currently in third we have got Trev Waite. Paul Sims was in third but has pitted. Stevie Morgan making his way back through the AMS as predicted. We've got Rob Homer looking down the inside of Old Man Canty, but just lost a bit of momentum coming out of the right-hander. Battle for track position, not points. As we see Steve trying to, as I said, make his way back through some of the AMS after his mishap earlier on, and he was running second. Sorry, he was running third, but spun it and lost a lot of positions. He's right on the rear diffuser of Paul Garnham's Porsche as he goes to the outside, going down the back straight, heading to Spoon. Job done nicely. Trev Waite is now in the pits. Is anybody else going to be jumping in? So we've got just over 31 minutes left on the clock. Paul Garnham's in the pits. So still keeping this eye on this battle. As we know, it's not the easiest track to pass on. You really got to set your move up to get it done and stuck. Oh, Andy Aldhouse just in the background there, just throws a couple of wheels up onto the dust, just loses a bit of momentum. But this is allowing James Payson to just focus on what is going on in front of him as he heads down to Spoon, right in the slipstream of the BMW. Ash Canty is in the pits as well. Race leader Werner Skoman is in the pits. So we need to keep an eye on this. We need to keep an eye on when Richie Gasson goes in as well. Making sure that any positions aren't gained or are gained in the pit stop, as Jacob is now in the pits as well. That gives James a bit of fresh air. I'd imagine he wants to, Steve. As long as he's got the fuel on board, I'm sure he wants to sort of just take advantage of that fresh air, stretch the legs of that AMG to see if he can put some distance between him and Andy Aldhouse behind him. Jules Flint is now in the pits as well. The field nicely spread out at the moment. Let's check in on our current AM standings. So Chrissy Wilson, our current AM leader, has opened it up to 11.5 seconds on Buddy Mitchell. Need to keep an eye on when Bunny pits to see where he comes out in relation to Yaki, who was right on the diffuser of that Porsche for basically the first half of the race. Steve Morgan's now in the pits. Frustrating first half of the race for Steve. Had a bit of an incident, lost a lot of positions from third place. Let's check in with some of the other guys we haven't seen tonight. Who haven't we seen tonight? We haven't seen much of Paul Sims. Was fourth when he, until Steve's mishap, pitted. It was the first one out of the pits, the top sort of five to pit. But Richie Gasson is now in the pits. So let's jump on board with Werner and see if he's coming down the start finish straight now. Let's jump up to Helicam. Where is Rich Gasson? So Rich is out now. So Werner did a good job in the pits to keep the position. Renato now putting pressure on the pink Porsche of Old Man Canty. Chrissy Wilson's in the pits. So we need to keep an eye on where is Chris going to come out in relation to the guys that were behind him. I can't see Chris on the timing board. Where's Chris gone? There he is. Lost him for a sec there. There he is. Right, so Chris is 8.5 seconds in front of Yaki. So they've both pitted. Me talking away and I didn't have my mic on. Tit. Right, so Bunny Mitchell is in the pits. So is he gonna, he was 11 seconds in front, behind Chrissy Wilson. But where is he going to come out in relation to Yaki? So where is Yaki now? Yaki is coming down the back straight to 130R now. F. Walker and Jacob are also in the pits as well. So Yaki coming around the last corner. Buddy Mitchell is now heading out of the pit lane, but I don't think he's going to be... Yaki has managed to jump Bunny Mitchell in the pits, so takes over from second place in AM. Although the time board hasn't updated yet, I can confirm that Yaki is in front of Bunny Mitchell. James Payton and Andy Althouse are in the pits. This will be interesting. We'll keep an eye on them too, because they were very, very close together, and a slight mistake in the pits could be make or break for either of them. As we've got Jules Flint now putting pressure on Bunny Mitchell. Stop go 30 for Jacob Curtis. That is going to be for speeding in the pit lane. So let's keep an eye on all of these battles. But let's see who's leaving the pits first. James Payton is away, but Andy Althouse is not away yet. That looks like a good advantage made by James, using his pit stop to his benefit. As we've got Jules trying to get past the AM car of Bunny Mitchell. Right in the slipstream is the head down to turn one. I just want to keep an eye on this battle as Borowick looks to try and make a move on James Payton. James has managed to jump Jacob, using his pit strategy and pit stop to his advantage, but Jacob is trying to get that position back. As they come out of the hairpin. Down to Spoon. Great first part of Spoon by the BMW. A great second part of Spoon by the BMW. He is right in the slipstream of the AMG. They are side by side as they head down to 130R. Who's going to back out? James backs out. Was it a wise move? It probably was. We have seen so many instances over the years going through Spoon 130R side by side. That does mean that Jacob Borowick takes 5th position back away from James Payton. But James has got a 7.5 second lead over Andy Althouse, and he was on the rear bumper of the AMG for most of the first half of the race. So we jump on board with Jules still trying to get past Bunny Mitchell. But this track's so difficult to make a move. You have to be so close or so brave. They come out of turn one. The Porsche so strong in turn one. A really good job there from Bunny Mitchell. Just gives himself a bit of breathing room. I don't suppose he would defend too much should Jules be close enough to make a move, as it is not a battle for points. But right behind Jules now we've got Steve Morgan really in the BMW in. We know how fast Steve is. But a setback in the early part of the race made him lose a lot of positions. As he looks to the inside, I think Jules might have just given that up, to be honest. Sometimes you just need to know what are your battles and what not are your battles. Steve is super fast and will surely stretch the legs of that McLaren and put a nice gap between himself and that BMW and start to reel in the Porsche of Buddy Mitchell. Let's just jump on. It's up to Chrissy Wilson, our current AM leader, third overall in the AM Championship. Right in the slipstream of the Ferrari of pro driver Andy Aldhouse. Not going to be close enough to make a move going into turn 1. First, we just jump back to Stevie Morgan. Already on the rear bumper of Bunny Mitchell. As they head round turn 1. Yeah, that's a very good point, Mr. Barham, who will lose out 2 track limit penalties. It is one of those tracks where drive-throughs can come into play and affect your overall finishing position. Out of the hairpin, Steve Morgan. Still trying to get past the BMW of AM driver John Bunny Mitchell. The Porsche so strong out of the corners. As they head down to 130R once again for the 20th time. Steve had a look down the inside but just backed out. Perhaps not quite close enough, didn't feel confident enough, but does get a great exit out of the last corner, down the inside of John Bunny Mitchell's Porsche. And job done. That is how you set a move up. Just because you wasn't close enough the first time round, backed out, got back on the racing line, got a great exit coming out of the chicane. Job done. Chrissy Wilson. Someone has stolen his livery. I'm sure it was there last week or the week before last. Because Rob Homer is now in the pits. All the guys nicely spread out at the moment, so let's just touch base with our leader. 15 minutes to go. Race leader Werner Skoman really put in a good display. Got pole. He's now at 6. Just 6.5 seconds in the lead. Making amends for a bit of a nightmare race last week at Brands Hatch in the wet. And he's doing a bloody good job tonight. Richie Gasson in his awesome liveried Nissan. Been a bit of a lonely race again, but he's racking up those points. Nice, clean, super smooth. Then third place, you've got about club trustees Paul Sims. Nice, clean race again from Paul. Trev Waite in fourth position in his Aston Martin. Fifth place, you've got Jacob Borowick, who had a cracking start to the race. An awesome start. Saw him make up take four positions on the first lap. Sees himself fifth, and he has put a nice 4-second gap between him and James Payton, who is sixth. And has got a nice healthy 6.5 second lead on Andy Aldhouse. And then just behind him, under a second behind Andy, you've got the first ever AMS. Chrissy Wilson putting in another solid performance and just needs to keep it nice and clean for the next 12.5 minutes to take maximum points in AM. And maybe another pro overtake if he can get close enough to the Ferrari of Andy Aldhouse. 8.5 seconds back from Chrissy, you have our P2 in AM, Jackie Van Eck. A really good pit stop from Jackie. Saw him jump from third in AM to second. He managed to get in front of John Bunny Mitchell, who is third. So Jackie ninth overall and second in AM. We've got Stevie Morgan in 10th, currently 8th in Pro. Be a little bit frustrated, I'm sure. He's got so much pace. As Steve was second, but had an instant and dropped down so many places. Eleventh overall, we got John Bunny Mitchell, third in AM class. Currently second overall in the championship before tonight's race. The battle between Chris, Jackie and John have been really good so far this season, and I look forward to the last two rounds after tonight to see how this battle for overall AM honours continues, because they are so close on points. It's what we like to see. Jules in 12th. Again, another nice clean race from Jules. We saw some great racing and battles in the first half of the race as we head towards the last 10 minutes. We got Kev Walker down in 13th, but 4th overall in AM. Another night of good point scoring for Kev. Just needs to keep it nice and clean. Make sure he doesn't make a mistake on the track limits. And score as many points as possible. So that's 4th for Kev. 14th overall. 5th in AM, we've got Paul Garnham, who lost 2 places in a couple of corners on the first half of the race. I'm sure he'd be a little bit frustrated, but again, 5th overall. fifth in Am. So another good points scoring race for Paul Garnham. Aero. 6th in Am, 15th overall at the moment. Likes to have his black and red liveries in whatever simulator he's driving in. It does look a bit bitter tonight though. A few scuffs and marks on that Porsche from our super smooth Finn, another one of our club trustees. Jordan, 6th in Am, 16th overall. I seem to be a bit of a commentator's curse sometimes for Jordan. I was in the first half of the race when he was side by side with Stevie Morgan and just lost the back end. I always seem to manage to catch it on stream for him. Renato, 17th overall, 8th in Am. Rob Homer, 18th overall, lowest placed pro at the moment. Old Man Canty, these very pink Porsche. And you've got Jacob in the best liveried car on the grid. Look at that. Look at that. Come on. Sexy, innit? Come on. Admit it. In his Spurs liveried Mustang, of course. Had a little bit of a mishap earlier. We don't really have anyone that close at the moment. These are the two closest cars on track at the moment. So you see Jules trying to reel in the Porsche of John Bunny Mitchell. We come down to 7 minutes left on the clock. Seven minutes to go. That's just mean, Gaz. That's just mean. Actually correct, but it's still mean. Race leader Werner Skoman starting to come through some of the back markers. Jordan making it nice and easy. An excellent job from Jordan. Great awareness. Let's jump on board with the Mustang. And we'll watch our race leader show us how it's done coming through 130R. Nicely done, not taking any risks as he comes down to the bus stop. Plenty of curb on the entry and on the exit. As he comes down to start his 27th lap. Let's grab some information and see who our biggest movers and losers are of the race so far. So, Jules Flint has gained 7 places from her starting position. Superb effort. That's our highest mover in. As we see Jacob in the back distance there, just having another mishap. Perhaps the Spurs livery is not doing him well. Then we jump on board with Kev Walker, who is our biggest mover in AM class. Again, just like Jules, gained 7 positions from his starting position. Absolutely superb. Steve Morgan, as we saw, was always going to be the biggest positional loser from the pro class after his mishap in the first half of the race. He's gained some back, but at the moment lost 7 positions. And Jacob, bless him, in the best livery on the grid, has also lost 7 positions, but not been a great night for Jacob as he comes into the bits. Three and a half minutes left on the clock of this 60-minute race. Round 5 of our Addison Racing Sunday Series 2 from Suzuka, the land of the rising sun. It's a bit foggy here today, though, to be fair, as Steve Morgan is now trying to get onto the rear diffuser of Yaki. More pride at stake than anything else at the moment, but Steve has been a solid, clean, super competitive driver so far in Series 2. Yeah, it certainly has been a clean race. There are only 7 recorded incidents thus far. Yeah, this week's studio will be nice and short. We'll keep an eye on the battle between Steve Morgan and... Oh, it's just... Is it going to be close enough? No. Right, let's jump on board with Werner. I'm just keeping an eye on the battle between Steve Morgan and Yaki, as Werner starts the final lap of the race, heading down to turn 1. This spoon-shaped corner. Now it's his time to dance between the throttle and the brake, dancing from side to side, going through the S's, making it look easy, coming around the left-hander, heading down towards Degner 1 that we tried to rename earlier. Round Degner 1. Round Degner 2, keeping it nice and controlled as he heads down to the hairpin. Round the hairpin, a little bit of a wiggle coming out, but nothing major, nothing he can't handle as he heads round the right hander towards Spoon for the last time. Outer Spoon, heading down the back straight towards 130R for the final time. keeps it nice and controlled as he heads to the bus stop. This has been a light to flag. Superb drive from our race leader, Werner Skoman, as he celebrates, flashing his lights, wiggling from side to side. Excellent. Well done, sir. Richie Gasson brings it home in second place. Well done. Third place, Paul Sims is coming down to 130. Oh, just see Renato with a bent bonnet and having some issues on the last lap. As Paul comes around the final corner for the last time out, claims another podium for Paul Sims. Well done, sir. Trev Wake brings it home in fourth. Jacob Borowick is fifth, but let's see where our AM race leader is. Chrissy Wilson coming out of the chicane and across the line for the final time tonight, flashing his lights and takes another AM victory. Jackie Van Eck crosses the line for a very solid second place. Excellent work from Jackie, flashing his lights as he crossed the line. Superb effort. And John Bunny Mitchell takes the third podium spot. Again, those three racking up those podium places. Kev Walker bringing it home in fourth in AM. That's an excellent effort all round. Excellent clean race. Really good driving from everybody. So we see Paul Garnham crossing the line. Aero coming through the final chicane. Brilliant. Absolutely superb. Really great racing. And we saw some fantastic battles once again. So we will obviously check the stewarding report, and I will be shortly getting the podium graphics done. Thank you very much for watching. That was superb. Well done to our podiums, race winners and podiums, both in Pro and in AM. Please make sure you hit the like button. It means a lot and helps us out. If you haven't subscribed, why not? Do it. If you're over on Twitch, give us a follow. Much appreciated. I will actually be streaming some racing, hopefully this week as well, of myself. This should be good. Haven't streamed for ages, but we won't go into that story. Tomorrow night we are racing Caterhams on AMS2. If you want to get involved, join the Discord. Link is in the description. Come and have some fun. Wednesday night we are doing IMSA, Hypercars, LMP2s, GT3s at Sebring on AMS2. And on Friday we will be doing the Sprint Cars race car. I think they're called Sprint Cars, whatever they're called. Funny, at Sebring again. Really, really good racing. Love, really easy to drive. Sound awesome, look awesome. Come and get involved with what we do here at GRDC. Thank you very much for watching. I will catch you guys later.